Hi, I'm Paul Greenberg. I've just finished reading Emma O'Donnell's Sun and Fire and really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. If anyone who's taken on a book project, be it fiction or nonfiction, you're faced with the dilemma if you have very strong emotional material. I always like to think of fiction and nonfiction as kind of two vectors that approach a horizon. On the one vector, you have imagination, and the other half, you have memory. And where those two meet is the work. And a little bit to the left, it's fiction. A little bit to the right, it's nonfiction and memoir. And it's a writer's choice which way they're going to go. My own experience in my book, Leaving Katya, I went in the direction of fiction. But Emma O'Donnell has dragged it over into the side of fiction and nonfiction and memoir, and made a really, really stunning choice of it, I think. The story is reminiscent in a way of Adrienne Nicole LeBlanc's Random Family, a book. That book, of course, documented 10 years in the life of a very, very much random family, poor family in East Harlem. In the case of Emma O'Donnell's book, though, the subject is a woman who really is not of a random family, kind of almost of a planned family, of a family that has a great deal of integrity, but that falls apart when Emma, being the main character and also the author of the book, when her mother dies. And she is then sent off to live with her cousin, who is a crack addict in East Harlem. And it's in here that really is a very interesting merging between the kind of very intimate, in-depth nonfiction narrative reporting of Adrienne Nicole LeBlanc's style, as in Random Family, with more kind of fictive elements of some of the more affecting first-person fictional narratives that we've seen in the last few years. And what I think is really interesting is the way that this narrative seems to kind of take flight of the collision of those two worlds. There are aspects of this that maybe not every reader will grasp or get into. There's a certain amount of magical realism inspired by sort of Incan mythology, and a certain amount of flight that takes place, a la Quetzalcoatl and all these kinds of South American myths. But for whatever flights of fancy that takes you in, it still stays very much grounded in reality, and a very believable book because of it. I really would recommend this book to anyone who enjoyed Adrienne Nicole LeBlanc or any of the other really high-class nonfiction accounts we've seen in the last few years, but I think it really has the potential to draw in people who also like strong fiction. So go out and buy this book. It's a great one.